Hello and a very good morning. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. This is the news bulletin at 10 a.m. Here are the headlines. Over 130 killed and more than 180 injured in the Indore-Patna Express derailment in Kanpur. Railways orders probe as initial reports suggest rail fracture. Demonetization debate to continue in Parliament. BJP issues whip to MPs in Upper House. Congress moves adjournment motion notice in the Lok Sabha. One Jawan killed and 3 injured in heavy Pakistani firing along the line of control in Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir. Third ceasefire violation in less than 24 hours. Pakistan arrests 43 Indian fishermen for allegedly entering its territorial waters. 11 Indian fishermen held by Lankan Navy. And PV Sindhu clinches her maiden Super Series premier title, edges out Sun Yu of China in the final of the China Open Badminton Tournament. Our top focus on the bulletin this morning: over 133 people have been killed and 180 injured after the Patna-bound Indore-Patna Express derailed in Kanpur on Sunday morning. The Railways has ordered a probe into the cause of the derailment of 14 coaches of the express. Railway Minister inspected the spot and multiple compensations have been announced for the families of the victims and those injured.
अचानक आया तूफान जैसा, आज एकदम पलटी खा गया भयंकर।
3 बजे रात को जो है वो खड़बड़ करने लगा एकदम से। सर जो है मेरे लगा छत में। उसके बाद पता नहीं क्या हुआ, गाड़ी पलटे लगी तो हम लोग 5 नंबर डिब्बे में रहे, बच गए जो है। माने तो जो है दरवाजा खोला जाए खुलबे न करे, बाहर निकल के आए कोई तरीके से।
Passengers recounting the horror after surviving the Indore-Patna Express accident near Pukhrayan in Kanpur district in Uttar Pradesh on Sunday morning. 14 coaches of the train derailed, killing over 100 people and injuring many.
फोन किए सवेरे में तो दूसरा कोई उठाया, बोला उनके जेब में मतलब बज रहा था, इसलिए वो एक्सपायर कर गए।
कैजुअलिटीज़ की संख्या अभी 121 हो गई है। अंतिम बोगी जो B3 फंसी हुई थी, जो बहुत ही बुरी तरीके से रैम्ड हो चुकी थी, उसको निकालने का काम जारी है। उसमें से कुछ बॉडीज निकली हैं, मे बी अभी कुछ और फंसी होंगी, तो बस उसी को निकालने का काम जारी है।
The disaster took place as a Patna-bound train jumped tracks, badly damaging 4 ordinary sleeper coaches in which hundreds were trapped. Of the 4 coaches, S1 and S2 telescoped into each other. S3 and S4 also suffered severe damage, while an AC 3-tier coach was also affected. The Railways has ordered a probe.
देखने पर यह लग रहा है कि रेल फ्रैक्चर हुआ है। कमिश्नर रेलवे सेफ्टी निष्पक्षतापूर्वक जांच करेंगे।
Rail personnel, assisted by those of the Army, NDRF and State Police, carried out search and rescue operations through the night. Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu inspected the spot of the accident.
अभी राहत कार्य शुरू है। हमारी तरफ से जो भी मदद करने की जरूरत है पूरी तरह से दी जाएगी। अभी मैं अस्पताल में जाके आया हूँ और इसके बारे में एक बहुत ही हाई लेवल इंक्वायरी शुरू है। हम फौरन जो भी उसके लिए जिम्मेदार होंगे उनके खिलाफ हम कड़क कार्रवाई करेंगे।
The Railways has said that traffic on the Kanpur-Jhansi section will be opened in 36 hours. 4 trains have been cancelled and 14 diverted after the derailment disrupted traffic on the route. A special train carrying ill-fated passengers off the train reached Patna this morning. The President and Prime Minister have expressed condolences to the families of the victims of the accident.
राहत के हर बचाव के हर काम चल रहे हैं। केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से इस दुर्घटना की पूरी जांच तो होगी ही, लेकिन जो घायल हैं, जिनकी मौत हुई है, उन सबके परिवारों की आर्थिक सहायता, घायल लोगों की सारवार की चिंता, रेलवे की पूरी शक्ति लगी हुई है।
The Railways has announced an ex gratia of 3.5 lakh rupees of the families of those killed, 50,000 rupees for seriously injured and 25,000 for minor injury. Prime Minister Modi has also announced ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each for the next of the kin of those killed and 50,000 for those seriously injured. Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh chief ministers have also announced compensations. The railways have released helpline numbers for the people. With inputs from Navikram Singh, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Our correspondent Navikram Singh joins us for more on this particular story. Navikram, आप स्पॉट पे है, कैसी स्थिति है वहाँ पे अभी?
जी फ्रैंक, यहाँ पर मैं इस समय अस्पताल में मौजूद हूँ, जो हैलट अस्पताल है, लाला लाजपत राय अस्पताल। यहाँ अफरा तफरी का माहौल है। लोग जो बदहवास लोग दूर दूर से, पटना से, इंदौर से, कई इसमें ऐसे, क्योंकि ऐसी कुछ कई बड़े अधिकारी भी हैं जो अपने परिजनों की तलाश कर रहे हैं। तो कुल मिलाकर एक बदहवासी का आलम है। लोग बहुत परेशान हैं अपनों को तलाशने के लिए, और अस्पताल प्रशासन की ओर से बेहतर इंतजाम किए गए हैं, लेकिन वो नाकाफी साबित हो रहे हैं क्योंकि भीड़ इतनी ज्यादा है। और लोकेशन जिस तरीके से, कुछ लोग कानपुर आ रहे हैं, कानपुर के अलग अलग अस्पतालों में कुछ लोग हैं, और कुछ लोग कानपुर देहात, जो अकबरपुर इलाका है, यहाँ पर कानपुर देहात का हेडक्वार्टर, वहां पर है, उरई में है। तो कई लोगों, जो लोग मिसिंग हैं, उनकी सबसे बड़ी समस्या है, क्योंकि लोग बहुत परेशान हो रहे हैं। उनके परिजन जो कि ट्रेन में थे, लेकिन अभी तक उनकी कोई जानकारी नहीं मिल पा रही है। ये निश्चित तौर पर एक प्रशासन के सामने बड़ी चुनौती होगी कि उन लोगों को ढूंढा जा सके जो कि अभी मिसिंग है। जी फ्रेंड,
सुबह जब हमने बात की थी तो डेथ टोल 120 पे था, अब 130 से भी ज्यादा हुआ है। तो इसके बारे में क्या बोल रहे हैं कि हाउ मेनी मोर पीपल में जस्ट हाउ मेनी पीपल आर इन अ सीरियस कंडीशन?
अभी करीब जो 58 लोग हैं वो घायल हैं, जिनमें से करीब 20-25 लोग हैं जो गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं। और जो मिसिंग की बात हो रही है, जो लोग अभी लापता हैं, उन लोगों का पता नहीं चल पा रहा है क्योंकि कानपुर देहात से यहाँ पर नहीं लाया गया। तो प्रशासन कहीं ना कहीं शक जता रहा है कि उन लोगों की, उनमें से कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जिनकी मौत हो गई हो। और इसके अलावा यहाँ पर कई लोग ऐसे हैं गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं, लेकिन जो माइनर इंजरी है जिन लोगों को, उन लोगों को वापस भेजा जा रहा है। जो लोग, उनके परिजन आ चुके हैं या फिर फोन पर उनकी बात हो चुकी है, तो उन लोगों को वापस भेजा जा रहा है। ये मुमकिन है कि यहाँ पर जो डेथ टोल है, इसकी संख्या में और ज्यादा इजाफा हो।
अच्छा, ठीक है, ऑल राइट, थैंक यू नविक्रम सिंह फॉर जॉइनिंग अस देयर विद दोस डिटेल्स। सो दैट इज द लेटेस्ट एज फार एज द ट्रेन एक्सीडेंट is concerned. Moving on now, the issue of demonetization will continue to be debated in the Rajya Sabha today. With the united opposition looking to counter the government in the Rajya Sabha on demonetization issue, the BJP has issued a whip to its members asking them to be present in the House for 3 days starting today. The ruling NDA lacks a majority in the Rajya Sabha and the BJP believes that a maximum presence of its members would be required in case of any voting. Sharp clashes have been witnessed in the Rajya Sabha last week after leader of the opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad made certain remarks that were opposed by the BJP. While the opposition wants the Prime Minister to be present in the House during discussion, the BJP is seeking Azad's apology. The Congress has moved a notice for adjournment in the Lok Sabha to discuss demonetization. The Congress has issued a whip to its parliamentarians and leaders of opposition parties to chalk out a joint strategy to corner the government. The opposition parties are raising a demand for a joint parliamentary committee probe into the alleged selective leakage of demonetization information to the ruling BJP. The opposition stalled proceedings in both the houses last week, demanding the Prime Minister's response in the matter.
If he can go on defending his government's decision outside Parliament, making speeches on the issue of demonetization outside Parliament, why can't he come to Parliament and speak? Parliament is the supreme body in our democracy. Parliament represents the will of the people. Why can't Prime Minister come to the Parliament and listen to the concerns expressed by various political parties and respond, react accordingly?
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said his demonetization decision had severely hit the parties whose leaders seek money in lieu of tickets for contesting assembly polls. He said this during a rally in Agra on Sunday. In a veiled attack on BSP chief Mayawati, who has been facing such allegations, he said that the decision to scrap notes of 500 and 1,000 rupees denomination was not intended to cause harassment to the common people, but they will have to take the trouble for 50 days for ensuring a bright future for the coming generations. He expressed confidence that the objective of ending corruption and black money, which was the reason behind the decision, would be achieved.
ये 500 और 1000 की नोटों बंद करने के कारण आपको तो असुविधा हुई है, इसका मैंने पहले दिन भी इनकार नहीं किया था, लेकिन कुछ लोगों की तो सारी जिंदगी तबाह हो जाए ऐसा उन लोगों को दंड दिया है मैंने। आपको एमएलए बनना है, इतनी नोटें लाओ तब एमएलए बनोगे। गरीबों ने चिट फंड में पैसा जमा कराया और राजनेताओं के आशीर्वाद से करोड़ों करोड़ों रुपयों के चिट फंड के पैसे गायब हो गए।
Meanwhile, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Raman Singh on Sunday said that demonetization has weakened the Naxals in a big way. He also said Maoists and other extremists are now finding their financial backbone completely broken. While speaking at a seminar in Delhi, he further added that development is key to resolving the issue of Naxalism.
Development in the Red Corridor was a topic of discussion at a seminar held in Delhi. Several ministers, police officers and social workers participated in the event. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Raman Singh said that the people are no longer getting influenced by Naxal ideology. He further said that demonetization has weakened the Naxals in a big way. He said that Maoists and other extremists are now finding their financial backbone completely broken.
काला धन समाप्त होगा, मगर सबसे बड़ा असर नक्सलवाद के आंदोलन पे पड़ेगा। उनकी कमर टूट गई है, जितने पैसे गड़ाए थे हजारों करोड़ रुपया, वो सारे के सारे पैसे निकालने की हिम्मत नहीं उनकी है।
The seminar was held by Outlook magazine. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said that the scope of communication in Naxal areas, which increasingly is being extended, will end the problem fast.
इलाकों में हमारे माओवादी सक्रिय हैं, वो सभी गरीब इलाके हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं उपेक्षा तो हुई है, ऐसी बात नहीं है। उपेक्षा पिछले 50 साल 70 साल की राजनीति के कारण हुई है, लेकिन आज ये भी है कि कई जगह लोग बदलाव कर रहे हैं, बदलाव की चाहत है, बदलाव की गूंज है, बदलाव की अपेक्षा है।
Several senior police officers who were involved in anti-Naxal operations were also part of the event. At the end of the seminar, the common opinion was that Naxals must shun violence and enter the mainstream, and that development is key to resolving the issue of Naxalism. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news now, the informal meeting on goods and services tax held on Sunday to iron out the differences between states and the centre on control over assesses remained inconclusive. The meeting, attended by state finance ministers, was chaired by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. The broad agenda of the meeting was to arrive at a consensus on dual control or cross-empowerment on who will exercise control over GST assesses, the centre or the states. States including West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu also took the opportunity to raise the issue of demonetization and its impact on their treasuries with the finance minister. Now, a meeting of the central and state finance officials is scheduled today ahead of the central and state finance ministers' meet scheduled for November 25th. Moving on now, in the third ceasefire violation in less than 24 hours, one BSF Jawan was killed and 3 soldiers were injured as Pakistani army resorted to heavy cross-border firing in Rajouri sector of Jammu and Kashmir on Sunday night. BSF head constable Rai Singh lost his life in the early hours of Monday morning after he succumbed to injuries. The exchange of fire was going on till last reports came in as the Indian army gave a befitting response to the Pakistani fire. The latest ceasefire violation comes a day after a BSF Jawan and a woman were injured by Pakistani mortar attacks and small arms fire along the line of control in Nausheda and Sundarbani sectors of Rajouri. Since India conducted the surgical strike on terrorist launch pads in POK on September 29th, there have been a whopping 286 incidents of firing and shelling along the line of control and the international border in Jammu and Kashmir by Pakistani troops, resulting in the death of 26 people, including 14 security personnel.
ये नका पंजगराई खोड़ीनाड़ ऊपर तरकुंडी इस सारे इलाके में ज़बरदस्त फायरिंग हो रहा है। उससे पहले शाम तक पहले बालाकोट में भी हो रही थी। मैंने सब लोगों को फ़ोन पे बताया, जितने भी लोगों से मेरे राब्ते थे, मैंने सबको बोला था कि आपने घरों में रहो, घर को नहीं छोड़ना है। तो बाद में जब मैंने वेरीफाई किया तो लोग कहते हैं कि जनाब घरों पे हमारे पे जब शेलिंग पड़ी है, दीवारें टूट गई हैं, तो इसलिए डर के हमारे लोग बड़े खौफ और हरास में हैं।
Meanwhile, Army Chief General Dalbir Singh Suhag has left on a 4-day visit to China. He is leading a high-level military delegation comprising senior military officers. During his visit, the Army Chief will be visiting important military installations and is scheduled to meet a number of high-ranking dignitaries of the People's Liberation Army and the Central Military Commission. The delegation will also be visiting various military installations, including Infantry Division and Army Air Defence Brigades. The visit aims at engaging China as on subjects of mutual concern and shared interest, which include terrorism, humanitarian assistance and peacekeeping training. The visit also coincides with a joint military exercise hand in hand between the two armies, which is underway in Pune. There's a look at the news and events lined up for the day in our segment, The Day Ahead. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar will commission the INS Chennai into the Navy today, marking the completion of Project 15A, indigenously designed and constructed Kolkata-class guided missile destroyers. The ship is the first one to have a specially integrated underwater Kavach decoy system. INS Chennai is equipped with the supersonic BrahMos missile system and Barak 8 missiles, and also has 4 AK-630 rapid-fire guns, sensors and stealth features. The Supreme Court will hear the plea of the Haryana government today against Punjab for allegedly violating the court's order by returning the land acquired for construction of the Sutlej-Jamuna link canal to farmers. The apex court had held that Punjab could not unilaterally terminate the agreement or legislate to nullify the verdict of the highest court. National Green Tribunal will hear the plea on manufacture, sale and burning of firecrackers case today, as these are a major source of pollution. The Green Panel has asked all concerned authorities to create social awareness, especially in schools and colleges, with regard to the adverse impacts of indiscriminate burning of crackers on public health. It's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young, and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates some message of wisdom.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, Indian fishermen have been apprehended by Pakistan and Sri Lanka over the weekend. At least 43 Indian fishermen were arrested by Pakistan for allegedly entering its territorial waters in the Arabian Sea. The fishermen were nabbed by Pakistan Maritime Security Agency off the coast of Sindh province and taken to provincial capital Karachi. A police official said that a case has been registered against them under the Foreigners Act and the Fisheries Act. And at least 11 Indian fishermen along with their trawlers have been arrested by the Sri Lankan Navy for allegedly fishing illegally in the country's waters. This comes days after the two countries held a high-level meeting to find a permanent solution to the emotive issue. The fishermen from Tamil Nadu were arrested while fishing near Sri Lanka's Neduntivu Island. The Lankan Navy claims the fishermen were found illegally fishing in Sri Lankan waters northwest of the coast of Jaffna's Delft Islet. The Sri Lankan naval men also chased away hundreds of other fishermen by allegedly pelting stones and bottles and warning through public address system. The Syrian government on Sunday rejected a UN proposal to end heavy fighting in the city of Aleppo. UN Special Envoy Staffan de Mistura met Syrian Foreign Minister Walid al-Muallem and proposed that Damascus should recognize the local administration in rebel-held East Aleppo if rebel fighters left the city. However, the Syrian minister called the idea a violation of national sovereignty and said that the government will continue to fight all the terrorists in eastern Aleppo. UN envoy also pointed out the deteriorating humanitarian situation in the opposition-held eastern Aleppo due to constant bombardment and ground fighting. He said efforts must be made to evacuate the wounded and sick people and that medical supplies must be allowed in to treat those who cannot be evacuated. Meanwhile, heavy fighting continued in Aleppo. 8 children died in a government-held Western Aleppo hospital after rebels hit a school on Sunday.
يساعد على استئناف الحوار السوري ربما هو ينتظر إدارة جديدة في الولايات المتحدة ربما ينتظر أمين عام جديد للأمم المتحدة.
Since we do have a difference of opinion between the minister, while I'm saying that there is a total denial of any aerial bombing of hospitals in eastern Aleppo, and now a point of view that indicates that there has been a tragic bombing of hospital in eastern Aleppo and elsewhere, frankly, then that perhaps we should be allowed to send a verification team on the UN side and made by UN and other partners to verify the damage of the hospitals in both East and West Aleppo.
Meanwhile, German Chancellor Angela Merkel on Sunday announced that she will run for a 4th term in office. Speaking at a meeting of her Christian Democratic Union in Berlin, she said she expected her toughest campaign to date and vowed to fight for the values and ways of life. General elections are expected in Germany next year. The Chancellor, who has been in office since 2005, is being challenged by the populist right-wing Alternative for Germany party. She announced she would stand again after meeting party leaders at CDU headquarters. She told reporters that the decision to run for a 4th term had been anything but trivial after 11 years in office. She added that she expected challenges from both the right and the left of the political spectrum.
Zur Bereitschaft, für den CDU-Vorsitz zu kandidieren, gehörte in meinem Verständnis immer auch die Bereitschaft, Bundeskanzlerin zu sein. Und dazu gehört deshalb heute auch die Bereitschaft, bei der Bundestagswahl 2017 noch einmal für das Amt der Bundeskanzlerin der Bundesrepublik Deutschland zu kandidieren.
As a roundup of the other international news in World Wrap. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy left his campaign headquarters with his re-election hopes in tatters on Sunday after a crushing defeat in the Conservatives' primary to select their candidate for the presidency. With almost all the votes counted, Sarkozy trailed his former ministers François Fillon and Alain Juppé by 23 and 8 points respectively, and both men will now progress to a runoff on November 27th. Vice President-elect Mike Pence has confirmed that Mitt Romney is being considered for the post of Secretary of State, among others. The statement comes after President-elect Donald Trump met Romney, a Republican who criticized him during the campaign. In March, during the Republican primary race, Romney accused Trump of bullying, misogyny and dishonesty, and he had neither the temperament nor the judgment to be president. 14 insurgents were killed and 8 others were arrested by joint forces in several operations carried out by the Afghan army on Sunday at various locations across the nation. The Afghan National Security Forces discovered and confiscated light and heavy rounds of ammunition during these operations. The Ministry of Afghan Interior Affairs appreciates the Afghan National Security Forces operations to eliminate the terrorist sanctuaries. Well, India will look to push for victory today as they seek 6 more English wickets on the 5th and final day of the second test at Visakhapatnam. After resuming the final day on 87 for 2, the visitors lost 2 more wickets in the first session to be reduced to 101 for 4. Spinners Ashwin and Jadeja have now picked 2 wickets each in the final innings. Earlier, chasing a mammoth 405 for victory, England skipper Alistair Cook's half-century gave the visitors hope on the 4th day, but 2 late strikes by Indian spinners shifted the momentum back in the hosts' favour. For England, Stuart Broad and Adil Rashid claimed 4 wickets apiece as India collapsed from 98 for 3 at the start of play, losing their last 7 wickets for 87. Captain Virat Kohli top scored with 81.
last delivery is 143 Ks. And
Well, star Indian shuttler PV Sindhu continued her stellar form as she edged past local favourite Sun Yu to clinch the China Open, her maiden Super Series title. The Rio Olympics silver medalist defeated Sun 21-11, 17-21, 21-11 in the summit clash that lasted an hour and 9 minutes. A dominating game as she zoomed to a healthy 11-5 lead early on in the first game before winning it 21-11. In the second, Sun soon broke Sindhu's rhythm by mixing her strokes and took the game. Sindhu then came back in the third game with fluency to take the title. Sindhu had reached her maiden Super Series final at Denmark Open last year, but the title eluded her then as she lost in straight games to 2012 Olympic champion China's Li Shuri. With a tribute to women's contribution to Indian cinema, the 47th edition of the International Film Festival of India began at Panaji on Sunday. Information and Broadcasting Minister Venkaiah Naidu inaugurated the festival. The festival commenced with a gala opening performance that celebrated the journey and contribution of women in Indian cinema with a special ode to a woman performance, which showcased the changing face of women in Indian films since 1950s. Veteran Korean filmmaker Im Kwon-taek was honoured with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the festival. Legendary singer S.P. Balasubramaniam was felicitated with the Centenary Award for Indian Film Personality of the Year 2016. IFFI 2016 will also showcase 20 award-winning short films based on the theme of Clean India. Republic of Korea is the focus country at the IFFI this year.
Cinema speaks in the language of universality. Though the storytelling, documentary, realism or fiction, cinema by nature demands a universal language. Though its form of communication mostly visual based, the audience engages with the world around them and rises beyond the limitations of its social and geographical boundaries. Here lies the potential of cinema as an instrument of social change.
This festival surely demonstrates the strong film industry and also very colorful culture of India. I'm particularly honored because Korea is invited as the focus country this year. Altogether, 18 Korean films will be shown during the festival.
That's it on this edition of the Bulletin. Have a good day.